Hey y'all, it's Danny coming at you. I'm sorry I've been out for a couple of days. I had a child who was down with a pretty severe case of the flu, and then I had my other child get the flu. So we have been out for a hot minute, but let's jump right back in to the covenants. Today we're going to look at the covenant between God and Noah in Genesis 9. Where God promises never to destroy humanity again through a flood. Okay, so we are going to read Genesis 9, 1 through 17, I believe. And it says, Then God blessed Noah and his sons, saying to them, Be fruitful and increase in number and fill the earth. The fear and dread of you will fall on all the beasts of the earth and on all the birds in the sky, on every creature that moves along the ground, and on all the fish in the sea. They are given into your hands. Everything that lives and moves about will be food for you. Just as I gave you the green plants, I now give you everything. We're going to jump down into verse 7. As for you, be fruitful and increase in number, multiply on the earth and increase it. Then God said to Noah and to his sons with him, I now establish my covenant with you and with your descendants after you, and with every living creature that was with you, the birds, the livestock, and all the animals, all those that came out of the ark with you, every living creature on earth. I establish my covenant with you. Never again will all life be destroyed by the waters of a flood. Never again will there be a flood to destroy the earth. And God said, This is a sign of the covenant I am making between me and you and every living creature with you, a covenant for all generations to come. I have set my rainbow in the clouds, and it will be the sign of the covenant between me and the earth. Whenever I bring clouds over the earth and the rainbow appears in the clouds, I will remember my covenant between me and you and all living creatures of every kind. Never again will the waters become a flood to destroy all life. Whenever the rainbow appears in the clouds, I will see it and remember the everlasting covenant between God and all living creatures of every kind on the earth. So God said to Noah, This is the sign of the covenant I have established between me and all life on the earth. Now, did Noah have to do anything for that covenant? No, he did not. But if we go back to Genesis 6, we see very clearly where they were a sinful bunch. And it says, Now the earth was corrupt in God's sight and was full of violence. God saw how corrupt the earth had become. From all the people on earth had corrupted their ways. Okay, so this goes back into goes back into Genesis 6. It says in Genesis 6:6, it says, The Lord regretted that he had made human beings on the earth, and his heart was deeply troubled. So the Lord said, I will wipe from the face of the earth the human race I have created, and with them the animals and the birds, and the creatures that move along the ground. But Noah found favor in the eyes of the Lord. So this is all the way back in Genesis 6. He was talking about it. And then it says, before God made a covenant with Noah, humans grieved God, right? They grieved him by their actions. And we explore this chapter. I encourage you, I try to keep these under 10 minutes. So I'm encouraging you to take some time to read chapters 6 through 9 in Genesis. It says this chapter explores the increasing depravity and corruption on the earth. In a hostile world, Noah walked with God. right? Noah was still there, and he walked with him. In our world right now, we can take on what Noah did and still walk with God. The moral decline in Noah's day is similar to what Paul describes in Romans 1. So in Romans 1, Paul is describing the earth and what is going on there. So in Romans 1:18, it says, "The wrath of God is being revealed from heaven against all the godlessness and wickedness of people who suppress the truth by their wickedness. Since what may be known about God is plain to them, because God has made it plain to them. For since the creation of the world, God's invisible qualities, his eternal power and divine nature have been clearly seen, being understood from what has been made, so that people are without excuse. For although they knew God, they neither glorified him as God nor gave thanks to him. But their thinking became futile, and their foolish hearts were darkened. Although they claimed to be wise, they became fools and exchanged the glory of the immortal God for images made to look like a mortal human being, and birds and animals and reptiles. Therefore, God gave them over in the sinful desires of their hearts to sexual impurity, for the degrading of their bodies with one another. They exchanged the truth about God for a lie, and worshipped and served created things rather than the Creator, who is forever praised. Because of this, God gave them over to shameful lust. Even their women exchanged natural sexual relations for unnatural ones. In the same way, the men also abandoned natural relations with women and were inflamed with lust for one another. Men committed shameful acts with other men and received in themselves to the due penalty for their error. For furthermore, just as they did not think it worthwhile to retain the knowledge of God, so God gave them over to a depraved mind, so that they do what ought not to be done. They have become filled with every kind of wickedness, evil, greed, and depravity. They are full of envy, murder, strife, deceit, and malice. They are gossips, slanderers, God-haters, arrogant and boastful. They invent ways of doing evil. They disobey their parents. They have no understanding, no love, no mercy. Although they know God's righteous decree that those who do such things deserve death, they not only continue to do these very things, but also approve of those who practice them." So that sounds like the earth today, right? After the flood, Noah and his family settled on new land where God gave them commands and instituted a covenant. That covenant is still very, very active today. As often as we see the rainbow, it can be easy to forget how important they are and what they represent. This week, I want you to think about the wrongdoings of this world. And are you scared by it? Are you pressured by it? Remember that God is still in control. I know a lot of people say biblical times are so far from us. They're so different. But really, we're in it now. We're in it always. It's still the same thing. It's just more noticeable now because more people have turned from God. So if you have turned from God and you want to come back to God, all you got to do is ask him for that forgiveness, because salvation is still there for you. If you have questions, reach out. I encourage you to read Romans 1, Genesis 6 through 9, and I'll be back again with more in depth on this throughout the week. Have a great day. Bye, y'all.